Can SingularityNET AGIX 1000x your money? Is SpaceChain the next 100x cryptocurrency investment? That is what we're going to speak about in today's video with a very special guest. Ethan here with us on the call. He has a lot of experience in cryptocurrency. He's literally been in crypto for over 10 years. And he's invested in AI cryptocurrencies like AGIX, SpaceChain, and much more. So Ethan, it is a pleasure.
So first of all, Mr. Moufflet, I got to thank you a lot for having me on. I really appreciate this. My history in crypto, it started around 2012, 2013. I became aware of Bitcoin. About the same time I became aware of AI, I was a guy that was surfing YouTube a lot. I was also reading a lot of articles. At the time, all I knew about it was that, the name of it, that it was some sort of internet money, and it just kind of sounded cool, but I didn't buy in right away.
Okay.
Fast forward to about 2015, 2016. I think the price was around, Bitcoin was around $400 maybe. And I was telling a friend of mine, like, hey, they invested in a lot of things before. And I was like, you should look at this Bitcoin thing. I think it's like, it may go somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, nah, I don't really do risk like that. And they, so they just kind of shut that down. And I didn't buy it myself. So I kind of waited even more.
So how did you tell him to buy, but then you didn't want to buy?
I know, right? That was the crazy thing. It was like I felt, I guess at the time, like my friend was in a way better financial space than I was.
Okay.
And so I thought that maybe they might have a better appetite for risk. Whereas I was like, I don't know if I want to do that,
Okay.
Yeah, so they ended up not buying. I ended up not buying. I'm gonna say it was about a year later. Yeah, so like 2017, we all know what happened with Bitcoin, right? It went on this crazy run up to 20K.
Yeah.
I FOMO'd. I FOMO'd. So, I look at Bitcoin going to 20K and I go, you know what? I bet everybody's trying to buy this right now. And I'm going to be smarter than your average bear. And I'm not going to buy Bitcoin. I'm going to buy the next one. I'm going to buy Ethereum.
Okay.
So I went in and I bought Ethereum in December of 2017. I think the price was around like 750 per coin, 735 per coin.
Yeah.
I that might have been the local high actually. Yeah, so I bought in, and then after that, I actually forgot that I bought it. So a year goes by. I went through like a breakup, right? And then I remembered, I was like, oh, I bought those cryptocurrencies. Maybe I'm rich and I don't know it yet.
Yeah.
So I check it and the price is down in the dumps. I think it's like around like $80 per coin at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. You lost like
And
90%, 80% of your money.
90%, yeah. It was bad, man. And I was like, you know what? I should take my money out before they take the rest of my money. This was a scam,
Mm.
But for whatever reason, I didn't take my coins out or any cash out, rather. I left it in there, forgot about it again. And over the next, I'm going to say from like the third week of January 2021 till about the third, fourth week of February 2021. In that month, I had like 6x my portfolio, just beyond 6x my portfolio.
Jeez.
Um, and I was thinking, oh, this is great. You know,
You didn't
this is the
cash
easiest
out?
one. I didn't cash out, right?
Mhm.
So, but I was just riding that high of like, I'm a genius. And so I soon found out I wasn't a genius. Um, you
We
know,
all find that out. We all find that out sometimes.
right? That was also the year I got into SingularityNET, and that's also the year I got into your videos, actually. Yeah, so I got into your videos 2021, I believe, and I think you were the first one who even let me know that SingularityNET as a crypto project existed. So the funny thing was, I actually had seen, I think a TED talk that Ben Goertzel did in 2012 or 2013 was the first time I even heard of this concept of AI. And years later, I'm watching your channel, your YouTube channel, and you're like, oh, the SingularityNet project. And then I see like Dr. Ben Goertzel's involved. And I'm like, oh, that's the same guy from like, almost 10 years ago. And I was like, oh, I always wanted to invest in what he was doing, but I didn't know where to do that. And then now when I saw your video, it was like,
It's
yeah,
crazy.
this is it.
It's crazy how many people know Sophia the Robot and have seen her on Twitter, on TikTok, on YouTube. Like she's
Right.
everywhere, but they just don't know like what powers her and how to invest in her.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, that was my thing. So that's how I got down the rabbit hole of the SingularityNet ecosystem. And yeah, I never really came up for air after that.
So I see the space chain also. You're
Yeah, you see the space chain here.
like it.
I love space chain as a project. Again, this is another project that I was made aware of by watching your channel, actually. I think that it has a big place in the future moving forward. I love to invest at the intersection of emerging technologies, like where they converge, right? So, like, for example, I think that crypto is the future. Blockchain technology, with crypto running on top of that, is the future. I also think that AI is the future. So when I see a project that incorporates crypto and AI, right, I love to invest at that intersection. I also think that space is the future.
Mhm.
Um, and of course, crypto being the future. So I love to invest at that intersection as well. So that's what drew my attention to Space Chain. And I tend to use that investment strategy quite often.
Oh, perfect, perfect. So what's your top cryptocurrencies, would you say? Top five?
Okay. Top five: SingularityNet, um, Singularity DAO, Hypercycle,
Hmm.
uh, Rejuve, Space Chain.
So do you hold any XRP or XLM, HBAR, any of those?
XRP, which I'm still holding, but it's a very insignificant amount. I bought the XRP actually in January 2021. Um, but again, it was it was like a very, very small amount. Um, but yeah, I have not some of the other coins I've seen on your channel or tokens I've seen on your channel, like Quant,
Hmm.
HBAR. I actually have not traveled down those paths yet. I mean, I kind of look at it, looks kind of interesting, but I haven't
Is
taken
it just
that
because
path.
you feel like the smaller cryptocurrencies like SingularityNet, SpaceChain, those have more upside potential?
Yeah, I think yeah, and again, I haven't like took the deep dive. I mean, what I do know about them is pretty much, what I've seen on your channel. But I haven't like taken the time. I guess it didn't like resonate with me enough to where I wanted to like go deep down that rabbit hole
Hmm.
to really look at it. So
So
yeah.
like to you, like you said, AI and cryptocurrency, that mix is more interesting than like just money and cryptocurrency.
Absolutely, absolutely.
In terms of like SingularityNet and SpaceChain, do you feel like when would you start taking profit and like actually start selling some of your position, would you say?
Um, well, I think that every time I buy a token, that's profit. If people are denominating their world in the current dollar, um, and that's profit to them as the dollar,
Hmm.
then I look at it totally different. I look at it as every token that I get is actually profit in the world of tomorrow. Um,
Yeah, but you can also say that like the idea is to take profit to reinvest, I should say.
Absolutely, and but that's a tricky game sometimes, right? Because it does, you know. So let me just come completely clean about what happened here with the crazy run with SingularityNet. SingularityNet from January to February, it did like 18x.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Um, yeah, it did a crazy run up. In this run up, I had already promised myself I'm never selling SingularityNet, until at least like 2028.
Hmm.
But this crazy run was like tempting. So I ended up selling a portion. I think it was like a quarter of my tokens or a third or something,
Hmm.
at like 57 cents, I believe.
Okay.
Um, I did do that. It was a cardinal sin. I felt guilty like the moment I did it. I felt like I betrayed myself and SingularityNet. Um, and once I turned this into fiat, like it's sitting there on the side. Um, and I waited and I was like, please let the price go back down because I just felt so horrible about it.
Yeah, like,
And eventually,
and what if it just keeps going up and up and up?
right, that was the thing. Like when it passed like 60 cents, I was just like, oh, yeah, this is what happens to people. This is what happened to Bitcoiners who bought it $1 and sold it $10.
Hmm.
You know, it just happened to me. And like I said, but eventually it did come back down, and I bought back in, I think around like 40 something cents. So apparently my soul is for sale. I didn't, I really don't, I don't want to sell out like that and try to do that of like timing and hoping that it comes back. Um, and like I said, when I did do that, I felt like horrible the whole time.
So do you think it's possible for us to break down below 15K again for Bitcoin?
I don't see that happening. Um, I see Bitcoin uh, going on a run up, and going into six-figure territory by the end of next year. So yeah, I don't really see us going back down to the people that are calling for 10K, 12K.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's not happening.
SingularityNET
Mhm.
AGIX. What is your bull market, like best case scenario for next bull market? Like how high do you think you can go?
Wow. Next bull market, I hadn't thought about that too much. I have thought more about like
Because right now it's at what,
7.
20, 25 cents?
Yeah, roughly. I have thought about like the year like 2030 when it's in a lot more mature space.
Hmm.
And I have a rather large delta of where I think the price could be. I think it could end up eventually between $500 dollars per token to as high as maybe 3,000 or a little bit above per token. That's my sentiment on AGX more long term. But as far as this more immediate bull market that's coming up, I think AI is a hot narrative. And I think it's more than a narrative. It's not just a narrative. I think it's real. Like this is here to stay. And it's so hard to predict such an exponential technology like this, and what it can do and how crazy of a trend that it can create, because it's all about the learning curve of the public. Like, do people understand what's about to happen? Like, because if they do understand, they're going to FOMO, they're going to ape big time.
So like
But
whenever we say like on our YouTube channel, AGIX to 1,000x, like you are one of those people that actually believes that it can happen by 2030.
absolutely, absolutely, I believe it. But again, there are a lot of people who don't quite understand AI. They're like, yeah, AI is a cool little like fad for now. It's cool to use to make like baby pictures and stuff like that. And I'm like, you really don't know what's about to
Yeah.
happen.
In terms of space chain, like how high do you think you can go also? Right now it's at 2 cents.
Yeah. Man, SpaceChain, this is a tough one to predict too. Everything's tough to predict, but like
Hmm.
I think start to become a decent project around like a $3 billion market cap. So I can't recall off the top of my head where the current market cap is for SpaceChain, but I think that SpaceChain is a qualifier
Yeah,
for that.
fully diluted is 20 million. So
Yeah,
that's
exactly. Yeah, so I do think that SpaceChain could do something like that. So that's um
100x.
that
So
would yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
$2 basically.
Yep. Yep.
That's reasonable. I can see that. Okay, perfect. What piece of advice do you have for the average person right now watching, maybe in their 30s, 40s, even 20s, just struggling? Because like a lot of people in America, around the world, inflation is hitting them hard.
Right.
They
Right.
are they are struggling. So like what piece of advice do you have for them to be able to get out of the rat race?
Wow. I mean, it's really tough right now. And again, like it's about mentality. You really have to look forward to tomorrow. Your best days for most people are still ahead of you. The times that you smile until your cheeks hurt are still to come. And so keep that in mind. You need to keep a positive mind frame to get through what's going on out here. As far as crypto is concerned, one of the best things I've heard from the beginning, it was not attractive at all, but one of the best things I've heard personally was people who DCA, as an investment strategy. And that's kind of proven over time that, yeah, that kind of works. So yeah, I mean, that's the thing. But I mean, people that, trade and try to time the market and stuff like that, you can basically plan on getting wrecked with that type of strategy, which would make the current state even worse, right? With the inflation and everything else that's going on, you get wrecked in crypto. So
Yeah. Like you want to be smart with your investing. Like you work hard and then you use that money after you save it to invest, but then you want to invest it smartly. Like you said, you don't want to just trade it and blow it. And then it's just like you work all these years for what?
Right. There you go. There you go. Everybody stay strong, keep those diamond hands nice and tight. And make sure that you guys comment, like, and subscribe. And hopefully you'll let me do the thing here. Until next time, Mr. Moufflet out.
And Ethan, peace out, guys.
Yes, sir. Peace.